Welcome back to WTCA TV. We are coming to you live from Bengaluru, India for the 54th Annual Global Business Forum hosted by the World Trade Centers Association. I'm your host, Laurel Burton, and I am so pleased to have an amazing guest with me today, the Executive Director of World Trade Center, Washington, D.C., Allyson Browne McKithen. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you and to be in this wonderful city of Bengaluru.
It is wonderful.
It is a great experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm going to touch on that in just a moment. But before we go there, I want to learn a little bit more about you. Can you tell me a little bit about World Trade Center, DC, your role?
I have been at the World Trade Center, Washington, D.C. for 19 years, the last 2 years as executive director. You know, we're so fortunate to be in Washington. It's a center of power. A lot of the questions I've been getting from colleagues here is like, what's going on in Washington?
Right.
But Washington really is an international city, and that's not as well known a component. And we're so fortunate to be there and be part of a large and diverse international ecosystem, federal, state, local trade agencies, the diplomatic community, the largest in the world, think tanks, private sector, and a very diverse academic institutions all form, all active in parts or in total focus on the international issues. So it's a great place to be.
Great place to be, and an amazing role that you're serving for your community. So on that note, I would love to understand a little bit more about why the World Trade Center DC has decided to come to the Global Business Forum. What are you hoping to accomplish?
I never miss an opportunity to engage in in-person events or, frankly, the virtual programming. It's such a great opportunity not only to learn about the local business landscape in the host World Trade Center here in Bengaluru, but also to connect really with our colleagues in the World Trade Centers Association, to continue to expand that network. That's invaluable. Those are connections that we can bring back to Washington. And the thought leadership from trade centers around the world is just a resource that you'd be foolish not to take advantage of.
Right, absolutely. And those connections, absolutely, I see that. And it's not just across the World Trade Centers, but incredible showing of businesses from all around the world, and especially in India, working together to meet one another and collaborate. I'm sure you're witnessing that.
Yes. Seeing it in person, in Washington, we see work with a lot of the diplomatic community and the trade community, and we're seeing so much engagement between the United States and India. So it could not be a more timely moment to be here for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, speaking of here, Bengaluru, talk about an amazing city and hospitality. What has been your favorite part?
Oh my gosh.
Where do you start?
Well, first, let me just commend Vineet and his team here for just an extraordinary experience. I mean, between the programs, I was so enthralled with what was going on Monday. We had ministers from the state of Karnataka. I loved the panel on AI. It was just really compelling to learn about the business environment here. But you can't be in India and not talk about the culture, the history. Personally, I have a passion for textiles and handwork, so it's like manna from heaven for me here. And of course, the Indian cuisine. It's just been extraordinary. We had, my colleagues and I had an opportunity to speak with the chef here at the Sheraton Grand Bangalore, and he was telling us about how he was curating menus and the storytelling that he was trying to do through the menu. So
for this particular event? Oh, wow.
So it was a really great experience. I've enjoyed the whole time here. They've made us feel like family.
Absolutely. I was just handed a dosa from a local eatery here from our video crew. They wanted to make sure that I also had a chance to experience it. And guess what I just learned?
What?
Yesterday was World Dosa Day.
Was it? Another timely moment for us here.
Maybe they planned the Global Business Forum around it. Who knows? Who
Indeed.
knows? Well, back to the Global Business Forum and your trade center. What do you want to make sure the world knows about your World Trade Center and again, the value of working with your organization?
Our World Trade Center is actually in the Ronald Reagan Building and International Trade Center. It's a U.S. government property. We also have, and our team manages, a large conference facility there.
Okay.
So we do about 1,800 events a year, 300 of which have an international trade or cultural component. So we partner with that stakeholder network I mentioned earlier to convene events that connect nations, connect cultures, foster international dialogue, and really create business opportunities for U.S. companies looking to access global markets. Last June, we had an opportunity to partner with a group that welcomed Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to our center. He spoke to a large gathering of the Indian diaspora community there and really encouraged trade and investment corridors to continue to be built between the U.S. and India. And it's just a sample of some of the events that we do. Frankly, our status as a World Trade Center is a key differentiator for us in that process, in the sense that, when clients know they're coming to our center, it gives them, the faith that their programs are going to be showcased on a global platform, and it's an invaluable asset for us.
Absolutely, and the cachet that goes against that World Trade Center brand.
Exactly.
100%. And I understand that you are investing in a business club to really facilitate connections.
Indeed. One of my key focus points for this trip was to come here and talk to other World Trade Centers that have already been successful in developing this business club model. We're looking to do that, and we were able to talk to Luciano with his experience in Sao Paulo and in Portugal, the team at the World Trade Center in Paris, and of course the great team here in Bengaluru that are really driving that initiative for the association. They were so generous with their knowledge and expertise, and they'll serve as mentors for us as we continue in this process. And it's just another strength in the value proposition that makes it great for us to be a part of this association.
What I'm witnessing here, watching the Global Business Forum take place, this is all about networking, but you have cultivated such deep relationships. It's a family as well.
It
and I
is.
think that's what you're trying to bring to
It truly is. And those connections are invaluable to us, and not only in the event work we do, but just making connections around the city in Washington. It's you're always meeting someone new every day, so you never know when your next opportunity is going to present itself, right. And the network really helps facilitate taking next steps in those relationships.
Which is wonderful. Is there anything else as we start closing out that you want to make sure that we share with the viewers?
I think for us, we always say that world news kind of comes to our front door. So we see a lot of international trends in our center, usually from different perspectives. And it's just a wonderful opportunity for us to engage, for my colleagues to continue to stay current on international trends. So I appreciate the opportunity and the location that we find ourselves in.
I do too. Allyson, it has been a pleasure getting to know you today.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I greatly appreciate it.
Well, we greatly appreciate you.
Okay, thank you.
This has been another edition of WTCA TV, and tune in as we interview more esteemed guests throughout the Global Business Forum. This is Laurel Burton signing off.